Unfortunate death that a number of our compatriots suffered at the Elwak Sports Stadium got the president to visit the location and the site of the incident, and he has forthwith given a specific order for the recruitment process to be suspended. We would update you on what happened, and then also as earlier the day, as the president after that headed to the Ashanti region for yet another important national exercise. But let's start from the Greater Accra region, where the Ghana Armed Forces has suspended its ongoing military recruitment exercise at the Elwak Sports Stadium in Accra until further notice. This follows a deadly stampede earlier today that claimed 6 lives and left several others injured. What was meant to be a regular enlistment exercise turned deadly when thousands of young Ghanaians thronged the stadium in a desperate attempt to join the military. Just before the process began, a surge in the crowd and intense pushing at the gates led to chaos, resulting in multiple injuries and fatalities. According to the military, 6 deaths have been confirmed. 28 others were rushed to the 37 military hospital. 5 are in intensive care unit, while 12 remain in critical condition. The exercise at the Elwak Stadium was part of a 2-day nationwide recruitment drive being conducted by the Ghana Armed Forces across all regional capitals. President Mahama, confirming the suspension of the Accra exercise a short while ago, said he has directed that an investigation be concluded and conducted into the incident. He spoke at a program in the Ashanti region. Let's listen to the president when he mentioned what he had been briefed on regarding the deaths here at Accra.
Police and when who said near Yanukum on Tishe, Obesha, na a unipa, say, Omonco for training. And Tabra Yabon Toa answer near Beto 2024 Batuano. The share boss say, Seba, a Kobase, your first soldier, na polisa, you're the Betuja. Na region bia yama yamabuna kwenya na omoso omwetimi abepre se ne be ya ombenya se dwuma ni bia ye ampanso ye bie adia ye friend portal enti yamabunu bi ekosa fidie no so eko register enti enne na ka wo se ye hyase na ye hwe omwoma ne omo senior omo de sitie ene sanio mani na nti anope region bia ye kire omo bebia e wo so muhia na Accra akoye kropon no ye se dipa dodo a epie ye se omo hwe se adwuma no na omo dosun ye na aho prepare ne ade a e sha se abra ye bie gate no se nipa enremu no manipa ni bebre ede ahonden epia se omokum omonim etime wrem na arehosem ne se ebi ehwe ase emye tietia omoso na menemo ka sei se na ayenya ntiye nipa esia yamabunu ahwere omonkwa na dumienu bi nso eda hospital a echese ayeding so ye bompa say omho beto omo na nyame enya areho ama omo enti make us say soldier mpanyfo ama ya so ate say yamma ensia omo nyina eyamma bawa oma hire omo kwa se kumasi hanso bibi kakra sa siye echese nipa baako say we proud the India order ayarsabia ono so ya bompa say obenya ahode na nyame ahono mobo enti enkradia no meka che asoja force omunja yansa na yenhwem na ye nhihye foforo senebeya ni esi no ensi sabium enti makasa no mesre na obia pagya ne mu sima ba kope na yɛde akai yɛnuama a ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛnɛ ɔma yɛ nyamedie.
And that's President John Dramani Mahama speaking at an event, the launch of the Nkukon Kitten program in the Ashanti region, where before he delved into the substance of the day, which was the program he was there to launch, he more or less addressed the nation through that platform to say, and I'm going to just briefly sum up what he said in Treve. He said that during the campaign period in 2024, or prior to that, there were concerns that anytime there was the need to recruit people into the military, it usually was on the blind side of the public. You just hear that people had been taken into the military. So a promise they made as a government or as a party in opposition or part of their campaign was that if they are given the nod, they would ensure that the recruitment process is transparent and public for everyone to see, so everyone can benefit, especially if you qualify. And it was that process. A portal was open, people filled in the forms and were asked to turn up today at the Elwak Sports Stadium. And he even said that it is across the country. So in other regions, they are having or holding similar recruitment programs. But the unfortunate incident that happened in Accra is that when the gates were opened for these recruits or interested recruits started going in, they pushed and shoved each other. Some fell, and the stampede led a number of them to be stepped upon, which led to their unfortunate death. And the number, based on what we have heard so far, is 6 individuals who've lost their lives. What we are also hearing from what the president said indicates that all 6 that have been confirmed dead were female. So it's very unfortunate. A number of them are still at the hospital. So he says he has asked that the recruitment exercise be suspended for now, so appropriate measures are found to ensure that the process is a lot more humane and coordinated, so we do not have these kinds of reports. We'll take it to Parliament also to find out what exactly the acting defense minister, Dr. Kaysel Atufoseng, has been telling the House. We'll do that in a jiffy, but let's get the latest regarding this issue, where our reporter Joseph Armstrong Gold Alogbe, who has been following this, is also a defense correspondent. He's joined us in studio to update us on what exactly the latest is regarding this issue at the Elwak Sports Stadium. Armstrong, thank you for joining us. To start with, before you left, what was the situation like at the Elwak Sports Stadium? Had people left?
Yeah, monthly, certainly so. So if you go to Elwak Sports Stadium now, you don't see anybody in there. The military has been able to march everybody out of the stadium square, and by the time I left, you can barely see anybody walking around that area like what you saw in the morning. Over thousands of individuals who have applied coming in there. But this evening, as at the time I left there around 4:30 thereabout, you don't see any of those applicants moving around that area.
And what were the eyewitness reports? Some of the people you spoke to, what did they tell you happened?
So as at around 6 a.m., they were waiting for the gates to be open around 6:30 thereabout. And whilst they were waiting, according to an eyewitness we spoke to, one soldier came to open the gate, and in the process of opening the gate, they pushed the gates, and those that were at the front fell, leading to the stampede. So they were stepped upon, and that's what led to the ceased death we are being reported in the news now. So exactly that's what happened. And it happened, even what happened in the morning leading to the death of the 6. Later in the day, that kept happening again. And sometimes you see some of the soldiers too, when you have a lot of people gathered, you don't come around throwing sticks at them. They will run and they will hit at each other, and then if you fall, people step on you, and then if you are not careful, you end up losing your life. So I think that can keep occurring during the day.
So the crowd control itself was a challenge.
The crowd control itself was a challenge for me. So I'm thinking that when you are dealing with crowd, for instance, you need crowd control experts to come and manage this. You don't just bring anybody at all because the person is a soldier or a security man to come and control the crowd. Some of them come out of anger. They use the cane, and that leads to the people running around and they falling on the ground and causing that stampede that happened earlier on. So people have also advised that for us to avoid some of these things in the near future, how about we asking all the security or the other security agencies like the Ghana Police Service, like the prison service, the fire service, all other services should do their recruitment on the same day. Because for all these people we are seeing at Airwork, many of them claim they want to join the Ghana military. The same people have applied to join the police service. The same people have applied to join the fire service. So people are saying that, how about you doing the recruitment concurrently where everybody is doing it, so you get to reduce the pressure on just one service. So this is what many people are saying. People have also said that if that not be the case, how about having about 8 different centers where we'll have this military screening exercise taking place? In any case, Airwork is an enclosed environment. The place is very small. So if you want to do it at just one place, the Independence Square is also another ideal place for you to have these your screening. So these are some experts speaking to us there. So hopefully in the near future, the leaders will take this into consideration. Martin.
Right. We know that out of the number, we are told that about 28 of them are also receiving treatment at the 37 military hospital. They were rushed there. 5 are in the intensive care unit. You also passed through the hospital briefly. Tell us what you saw on how those who are there are receiving treatment.
So, Martin, when the president came, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we were not allowed entry into the ward where the injured were being kept. So we were outside. They came out and then they briefed us on what has happened, the number of people who are dead, and also those who are in critical condition. That's all they told us. And then later they told us that all those that died are females. So we were not allowed to see. But one thing that we were looking forward to see was family members of those who have lost their lives. We did not see any family member because it appears they are yet to identify that their children are involved in this. So that's one thing that we are looking forward to see. Maybe by close of the 37 military hospital, be able to tell us that, well, the disease have been identified by their various families.
Right. Armstrong, thank you for this update that you have given us. He is our defense correspondent and was updating us on what happened at the Airwork Sports Stadium, where unfortunately 6 of our compatriots who were seeking to be part of the Ghana Army lost their lives as a result of a stampede. And many of them, we are told, also got injured and are receiving treatment at the hospital as we speak. Also, the president has asked that the entire exercise be suspended, especially that which is happening in the Greater Accra region. Although the ones in the other regions are still happening, the Greater Accra regional recruitment exercise into the army has been suspended until further notice, and I'm sure that in the coming days we'll update you. Let's go to Parliament because we know that the acting defense minister was in the House to speak. Let's find out what exactly the situation is as regards what he's been telling the House. And joining us now is Christian Yali, our parliamentary correspondent. Christian, thank you for your time. First of all, do we know whether Parliament has been fully apprised with what happened earlier today?
Exactly, that has been done, Martin. As we speak right now, the Speaker of Parliament, together with leadership of the House from both sides, are on their way to the 37 military hospital where the victims of the military recruitment stampede are currently receiving treatment. The Speaker himself delivered a statement or shared his opinion or his concern over this issue and stated that it is a serious challenge that the country must confront and ensure that in future recruitment processes, some of these issues are not recorded. In fact, he speaks about concerns and calls by some for the appointment of a substantive minister for defense, making the case that although the acting minister is capable, he is equally saddled with a lot of work to do at the Ministry of Finance, especially with tomorrow being a big day where he is expected to deliver the budget statement. Situations like this require that you have a substantive minister who can take full control of the situation. But indeed, we had the Minority Chief Whip, Frank Anodomfre, deliver a statement in that regard earlier, in which statement he called for investigation. In fact, on the majority side, to a number of the MPs, including Eric Edemagbana, MP for Ketu North, also delivered statements, and they are all unanimous in their call for an investigation into the incident, and also the fact that, if anything at all, those who are at the helm of affairs, who supervised this, should probably be held accountable, which has been a unanimous call. It was after which that we had a briefing, if I should put it that way, by the acting Minister for Defense, Dr. Kasel Atoforsen, and he says that there were 34 persons who were, victims of the stampede. He says some of them were potential recruits, and then there are a few of them who are not even related to the enlistment or the recruitment process. He goes ahead to indicate that, and just like you had earlier indicated, the process is currently smoothly ongoing in other regions, like in the Ashanti region, although we have received reported cases of stampede and some casualties over there as well. But he indicates that in the other regions, the situation has been very smooth. He says internal board of inquiry has been set up by the Ghana Armed Forces to investigate them. But we can take a listen to what the acting defense minister has been telling Parliament in the last hour or so.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I come before you today to inform the House of a tragic incident that occurred this morning at the Elwak Military Sports Facility during the ongoing recruitment exercise of the Ghana Armed Forces. So, Speaker, the Ghana Armed Forces announced recruitment enlistment processes about a month ago. Speaker, the application process closed last Friday, 7th November 2025. All potential applicants were duly notified to appear at their chosen regional recruitment centers for documentation verification today. Right, Honorable Speaker, and this was for them to go through body selection. So, Speaker, this year's recruitment exercise is being conducted simultaneously across all regions. Indeed, it was a system designed to decentralize the process, reduce congestion, ensure transparency and fairness, as well as to ensure accessibility nationwide. Unfortunately, despite these measures, a stampede occurred at the Elwak facility in Accra. I regret to report that there were 34 persons who were direct casualties, some of whom are potential recruits, and others, Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, are not related to the enlistment at all. The Speaker, out of these 34 casualties, 6 persons have been confirmed dead. The Speaker, 5 are critical, and as we speak, they are the ICU. Right, Honorable Speaker, 12 are fairly critical. The Speaker, the rest are stable and under observation. Additionally, there's a reported case of 1 person hospitalized at the Kumasi Recruitment Center, though that incident is unrelated to the stampede in Accra. The Speaker, in light of this development, the Ministry of Defense has halted the recruitment process in Accra until further notice. I wish to assure honorable members that in all other regions, the exercise is progressing smoothly and without incident. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Defense deeply mourns the loss of life and extend condolences to the affected families. We are working closely with the Ghana Armed Forces, medical teams, and law enforcement agencies to provide full support to the injured and to investigate the circumstances that led to this tragedy. Mr. Speaker, as a result, the Ghana Armed Forces has instituted an internal board of inquiry to investigate the causes of this unfortunate incident. Right, Honorable Speaker, the safety and dignity of applicants remains paramount, and the ministry will take every step necessary to prevent reoccurrence of this matter.
And that is Acting Defense Minister and Finance Minister, Dr. Kesala Tufosin, and Christian Yali is still with us. So, Christian, I mean, after the announcement, what was the reaction in the House? You say that the Speaker and the leadership of Parliament are on their way to the hospital, but before they left Parliament, what were they saying? How was the mood?
It has been very, what you say, that a sentimental one, and also because some of the members of Parliament, in a way, had sought to partly politicize it. You have the former Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwu, for instance, who makes a case that by the grace of God, none of these incidents happened under his watch, which attracted quite some sharp criticism, indeed. And when you even check on the social media platforms, people are taking on him for making such a remark under a situation like this. But largely, members of Parliament across the divide make a case that if anything, the decentralization which is already taking place should be further enhanced, so that if anything at all, and indeed, even before Parliament would begin the session, I had an interaction with the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee, John Ntimfo-Adjuo, who makes a case that if anything, there should be a way of scheduling the applicant or the potential recruit such that for each day there is a particular number that shows up to go for their screening process to take place. But there are people who have also raised concerns about the fact that this process in and of itself was advertised in the social media on digital platforms, which partly contributed to the high numbers showing up, because ideally if decentralization has started, then one wouldn't have expected what we are witnessing today to have happened. So those are some of the concerns of members of Parliament really about the way forward. And the other aspect of it is job creation. There are some who have made the case that if the country had done well in its job creation efforts over the years and up until now, you wouldn't have a situation where almost everyone and most of the young people would want to find themselves in the security agencies, because the case is that it is not everyone who has shown up who genuinely wants to be part of the Ghana Armed Forces, but it is also a case that there are some who are just looking for jobs to do because they are tired of staying at home. These are some of the conversations that are surrounding all of this.
Thank you, Christian Yali, for that report, and I will certainly bring the thoughts of our members of Parliament to our listeners as well in a jiffy. Christian Yali is our parliamentary correspondent, and joining us also on the phone lines now is Major Retired Derek Odro himself, a retired military officer, and then coincidentally or interestingly also a former member of Parliament as well. So before we bring you in, Major Retired, kindly hold on for us. Let's listen to what some of the current MPs said about this unfortunate development. Then we can pick your thoughts on the way forward and the best practice as regards how this can be handled going forward.
All right. This only tells us that we have a big problem in the country. Yes. A problem of unemployment. Big problem. And Mr. Speaker, the earlier the political class plus the leaders of this nation do something about it, the better for us. Because if young men all across the world, it's difficult to get people to serve in the military. People in US, people literally had to be begged to serve in many militaries. And today, young men and women are all rushing just because they want to serve in the military. I don't know whether it's for job purposes they are doing that, or it's just the love of serving in the military. That is happening. But I will lean towards the fact that people want to survive. People want a job. And Mr. Speaker, I can say that we have a big problem of unemployment. And these teeming youth who are outside between the ages of 21 when they have completed school and 25, if we don't do something about them, Mr. Speaker, this nation called Ghana, we may regret one day. I don't know when, but I can say that it's easier or it is better for the political class to think together And I like the way you said we should work together. We should work together and find a solution to it immediately. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we may regret. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I wish to first of all express my condolences to the bereaved families. It is really, really very painful to have our children to go for recruitment only for us to lose them. But I want us to all take solace in the Almighty Allah. There is nothing that happens that doesn't happen at the right time. This is what the Almighty Allah has ordained for them. Today is their day. No matter how, no matter what, no matter who was there, as what, even if we brought all the presidents of the world to sit there as ministers or whatsoever, once today is ordained for them to die, they will. And this is what has happened. Unless you don't believe in the oneness of God, unless you don't believe in the oneness of the Almighty Allah, it is not anybody who wanted them to die. There's no single officer there who wanted even one single soul to pass. Not even one person hoped and prayed that one person would die there. Let us understand that. If that were the wish of anybody, I haven't seen or thought of that person. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate what you have said. Let us work together. If there are mistakes, let us look into it. I've heard one of my colleagues saying that there are other recruitments to come on. Yes, that is true. It's a very big lesson, and we use the problems that have occurred or the mistakes that would have taken place, and we correct ourselves and forge ahead.
So, well, we had two voices, one from the minority side, and the last one you just heard is from the majority side. Now, let's engage Major Retired Derek Odro. Major, very good evening to you. Thank you for your time on News on 3FM.
Yeah, also thank you very much.
Where were you when you heard the news, and what did you make of it?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening to our listeners. I was sad because this thing hasn't happened before. I was a deputy defense minister. Maybe you forgot to mention that. Deputy defense minister during President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo's era.
Yes, that's true. Thank you for that addition as well.
Yes, and it never happened during our time. Maybe that is what came around or made them not to think into that situation that something can happen now. Because it hasn't happened before. That a number of people will rush into the Airworks Sports Stadium when you're supposed to orderly enter the gate and go quietly, go and queue. Look for where you have to belong to and queue. If you enter, you see a lot of queues over there. Army, Navy, Air Force. Where you belong, go and join the queue. So the thing is orderly from so many years ago. Once you have been selected online, you have your the card you are holding, the card that says you are qualified to be recruited. You don't have to struggle and fire. They will look at everybody. So why should you struggle? And I have been hearing people apportioning blame to the military. It hasn't happened before. You go, you form the line, join the queue, you'll be looked at, and then you are told, when you are going for medical examination, you'll be grouped. Okay. Because 37 meters is a so small area, all of you cannot go there. And it's not all people who can go through. I'm hearing the media, you are saying there are about 21,000 that converge there. Okay, be as it may. If there are about 21,000, it doesn't mean that all the 21,000 people are going to be recruited.
Right.
Some will fall by the wayside through medical, some through documentation, some through even the examination, the test that they will conduct, aptitude test. So right. They will conduct three phases. Phase 1 is the documentation. Whatever you put in the computer to get qualified, they will verify. Then you go to the other stage, which is body selection.
Okay.
Some of them will also be whipped away. So you go to the aptitude test. Some of them will be thrown away because they will not qualify for from that area before they are pushed to 37 meters also in batches for their medical examination. Okay. So because this thing hasn't happened before, people didn't look at that, but it could have been prevented.
So you are saying that the process is the same as has been in time past, but the unfortunate incident is new because it's never happened before.
Exactly. But this time maybe the applicants were many.
Right, and that's what that's what some have said, that it is also likely to be the numbers, because this is like after a number of years where recruitment have not happened. So now that the portal was opened or the access has been granted, many more people who probably in the last few years did not get the opportunity or applied. Hence the increase in the numbers we are seeing.
Not only those who couldn't get a chance last year or last 2 years, those 2021 applicants, when the new government came, they cancelled it.
Okay.
Those who were on standby to go for training, they were all washed away. So they have to apply again. So that got the number increased.
Right.
See, so it could have been prevented. Right from the dismissal or the cancellation of that one, so that they allow those batches that couldn't go for training, they finished their medical examination, everything. It was cancelled. That must also should also be looked at. Okay. But seeing the great number that went to work this morning, they should have grouped them. Maybe Army one day, Navy 1 day, Air Force 1 day. It has been done before.
Okay.
When the previous administrators got to know that the number was great, they did it that way. But this one, maybe there are new people over there who haven't handled that thing before, no experience, and therefore they thought they could go through because people will be law-abiding, they will be disciplined. They think they are all members of the armed forces. No. Because of the nature, because of the situation that so many people applied for it, and so many people came there. People even moved from their regions and came and do the screening in Accra. Some from Kumasi, some from Kofodia, some from the north.
But Honorable, having been there and having supervised or at least superintended over this kind of recruitment, do you think it is about time we change the approach? Or you think the system is, the way we do our recruitment into the armed forces should be the same? However, today's case is an isolated one.
As a minister, you don't supervise or you don't superintend recruitment. What you need to do is to get them the financial clearance, and then they will set a recruitment team. And then they will publish, they will draw their programs and go about it.
Okay.
So if they knew that they were coming in that great number, they should have done it the other way around, as I mentioned, that they could have put them in batches and then that. So the way forward, or for us to prevent the reoccurrence, that when we know that the number is above certain figure, let's give them different dates for them to come.
Right.
So that they will all not come and congregate there, and then that will bring that
this kind of chaos. Okay. Honorable, we are grateful that you made time to speak to us. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
I also thank you very much, Martin.
Right. So we've been speaking to former Deputy Defense Minister himself, also a former Member of Parliament, and the retired Major Derek Odro, sharing his expert opinion on how we can better approach this going forward in the coming days. So it's a very disturbing situation that we have found ourselves in today. And like we indicated, the leadership of Parliament, led by Speaker Alban Bagbin, are headed to the 37 Military Hospital. In a moment, we'll update you on what to expect as they are almost there. But we've also been speaking to the public regarding what they make of or how they perceive today's unfortunate development. Before we bring you that public voice, let's go to the phone lines again and speak to Stanley Nible, our correspondent, who is at the 37 Military Hospital as the Speaker of Parliament and the leadership are there. Stanley, thank you for joining us. What can you report from the 37 Military Hospital?
So, Martin, I must say that a few in a jiffy, the Speaker of Parliament and then the leadership of the Parliament and then some members of the Parliament as well were here. They have been here to actually visit the individuals, the patients who got injured as a result of the recruitment process at the EWAC Sports Stadium this morning. So we were made to understand that some 28 of them were brought in, 5 were in critical condition. As we speak, the Speaker and the entourage had been able to assess the ward in which these people or these patients are, and they are attending to them. The media has not been allowed to go into the ward, but some of the patients who actually got injured, but they've been able to resuscitate them, have been brought forward to the triage area where the media can have access to them, the media can see them, and so the Speaker and then the and the leadership of Parliament, which is the majority leader, the minority leader, and then the whips, and then other members of Parliament have been here to interact with them. But quite some few minutes ago, before we got here at the 37 Military Hospital, we were told by the military personnel manning the post, manning the gate, that the President, John Dramani Mahama, just left the hospital. He also came in here a few minutes ago to also visit the patients and also to check up on them and see how they are faring. As I speak, the President had left the place, and then the parliamentarians and then the Speaker are also taking their turn to also assess the impact of the intensity of the injury that these people actually sustained. So that has been the situation. From here, I'm hoping that they will be briefing the media as to what they have seen over there. But Martin, if I speak, the hospital is actually crowded because a lot of people are in here to also see what actually happened. When we got here earlier, the military personnel manning the gate actually told us that they approached us and told us, because we were branded in TV vests, they told us that they are not going to allow us to have access to the premises because that has been the instruction that they've gotten. This is because, when the incident happened in the morning, some media houses were giving misinformation about the happenings. People were saying that some 12, the deceased or those who actually died as a result of the stampede at the EWAC Sports Stadium, that death toll had actually risen to 12, which wasn't the case. And so the military personnel manning the hospital are very cautious, and they are actually trying to manage information. So they don't want any media personnel to come in here. So when we came here, there was resistance, but immediately the entourage from Parliament came in. We all had a field day to follow them to come and see what is actually happening here at the 37 Military Hospital.
Right, Stanley, thank you for that report, and certainly in subsequent bulletins, Stanley Nible would update us as well regarding what the leadership of Parliament found when they also went to the hospital. Stanley Nible reporting from the 37 Military Hospital, and this is a very unfortunate development here in the country, and many of you who probably may just be joining us who have not already heard, the news is that today the recruitment of some interested applicants who wanted to join the Ghana Armed Forces unfortunately died following a stampede. 6 of them have died. A sizable number are currently in critical condition and receiving treatment at the 37 Military Hospital, where you just heard the report from Stanley Nible. And again, the president himself has also been to the site of the unfortunate incident. He got his briefing and has asked that the entire process or exercise be suspended until further notice. Would keep you updated on our social media platforms and in subsequent bulletins. But join us at 7 p.m. on TV3 News 360, where we can also bring you comprehensive coverage of what exactly must have happened throughout the day. We are staying on issues of security. This time around, the concern